Welcome into GroomersTake on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, March 25, also known as NBA Trade Deadline Day. A lot of stuff happened. I'm not a huge basketball guy. Of course, I follow it, but I don't know it as well. Now, the Magic unloaded a whole bunch of stuff. I'm really interested to see how Vucevic, hope I'm saying that right, how he goes with Chicago and Zach LaVine. That's pretty cool. Gordon on his way to Denver and all that jazz. That's great. Lots of fun. Rondo over to the Clippers. I think that's right. I want to say that's right, which is cool. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about what the Raptors did because that's our team. And what they did do is they traded Terrence Davis. They traded Norman Powell. Whatever about the return, not a big deal to me. I want to focus on what we're all focusing on is that Lowry's staying. Kyle Lowry is staying a Raptor. He's going to be 35 next season. He's a free agent at the end of the season. And I hear people giving Masai props because he didn't give in to the small lowball offers from other teams. Or then I hear people saying, what the heck, this is not going to turn out well. Why didn't you get pieces? Why are you going to bring back Lowry next year if he wants to? So with all of that being said, I don't really know. Lowry's staying. You can push for that play-in game, but what's the point? You're not winning. You're not beating Brooklyn. You're not beating Philly. You wouldn't beat Miami. You definitely wouldn't beat the Bucks in a series. So, and you're not going to be able to fill a building and make money for your franchise either. So, what did we do? Is this Matt Sundin 2.0 where we're a great player, one of the best in franchise history, but we got absolutely nothing for him when he decided to leave the Toronto Maple Leafs? Now, could Lowry re-sign next year, and could he just stay here the rest of his career, help with the young players on their way up? Because it's not going to be a rebuild for the Raptors. It's more of a retool with the young guys that they have, and Siakam and Anunoby, and there's probably other guys that I don't know. But I would have loved to have seen Lowry on a contender for this season. I used to hate Lowry. Now I really enjoy watching him play. I think he's a gamer. And there's so many teams out there that could have had a Lowry on their team, and I would have wanted to watch Lowry on those teams battle for a championship in the playoffs. Instead, the Raptors are getting nothing, and the fans are getting nothing. I still don't really know where I am on this. I would have loved to get some assets for him, but I'd like to know what real basketball fans think about this in the comments. Let me know, because I'm a little bit in between. I'd say I'm more on the rattled side for not getting anything for Lowry, because the guy was here for a long time. It's great. He brought you a championship. He probably is the best player in franchise history because of that championship. If not, it's still Vince Carter. I don't care what anybody says. But Lowry brings a championship. He's the guy. Man, I can go on and on about what the heck is going on because I am absolutely surprised. But hey, Kyle Lowry staying with the Raptors. Yay. GroomersTake. Next. Okay, we'll switch to the NHL a little bit here. And it's been now 2 days since Tim Peel, the referee from the NHL, was fired by the NHL. I mean, veteran referee. He was retiring this year. His last game would have been at the end of the regular season. I don't think he would have been in the playoffs anyway, right? So, he's gone. He got caught on a hot mic saying that he wanted to give a penalty to Nashville to kind of even it up. And when I first heard this, I thought, I'm kind of disgusted with it all because where's the organicness, if that's a word, from the game? But really, this has been going on forever. I say it in beer league. You say it in beer league to the ref. Ref, that was a lame call. You owe us one now. You owe us one. Give us a makeup call. Yada, yada, yada. And it happens. And for sure it happens in the NHL. But if a ref is calling the game based on being fair to a team, like I want to give them a power play now because the last 3 or 4 or 2 went to the other team, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's bad enough now that the NHL, you can't play hockey. You can't give a little slash over the wrist. You can't tug a wrist. You can't do anything, a little hold to win a battle because it's a penalty. That's already the worst part. Some of the best hockey you'll ever watch or experience, I'm telling you, was the late 90s, early 2000s, when goals were still scored, but guys really earned it. They battled. You don't see that anymore. So I don't want to get too carried away with this, but I don't know if I hate it. But it's kind of like the NHL just doing what they think. It's kind of saving their own butt. It's a publicity thing, right? Tim Peel was leaving anyway. He was retiring anyway, so they're jumping ahead a little bit. He's not the only ref to do this. He just got caught on the hot mic. Other refs are doing the same thing. Do I agree with it? Heck no. I think play the game. I don't even think refs know we don't even know what penalties are anymore, because you see the little tug and they get a call, and then you see it again later and it's not a call. Why? Because it's halfway through the third, or you're both at four power plays apiece. Hey, I don't know. I don't get it. It's tough to watch. It sucks that this happened, because I didn't know Tim Peel by name, but as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh yeah, that guy. I've been watching him for a decade. It's really too bad. Again, let me know what you guys think, because this is just absolutely crazy to me. GroomersTake. Next. At this time, I'd like to remind everybody that GroomersTake is sponsored in part by Will Moore Custom Cabinetry, kitchens, laundry rooms, closets, shelving units. He's got some really quality stuff. You can find him on Instagram at WillMoore86. A shout out to him. I wanted to stick with some hockey right now, and of course talk about Toronto Maple Leafs, and more importantly, the goalie situation. So Anderson's been dealing with an injury for a while now. It sure looks like it on the ice too, because the stats aren't there. He'll be out for a week or a little bit of time, which of course opens the door for Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell has been on fire lately, and everybody's been talking back and forth of which goalie should you be starting. And I am in the realm of the Toronto Maple Leafs are expected to do something this year. They're expected to at least win a round even further. So if you're in that situation, you have to play who's the best goalie at the time, who's giving you the best chance to win the games. Now, if Freddie Anderson could come back and play really well, because I think if Campbell and Anderson are both playing at their best level, Anderson's the better goalie. But it seems like these Toronto Maple Leaf players would run through a wall for Jack Campbell. He's a very likable guy, and he's playing absolutely phenomenal. So you start him. You have to ride a hot hand. If he has a couple hiccups in these next few starts, then it's a lot easier to bring Anderson back. But if he's rolling and you're winning games, most importantly, because the Leafs are struggling, then you keep going with Campbell. That's simple to me. It doesn't matter. Ride the hot goalie. Win games. Win a Stanley Cup. Win a round. Please, Leaf fan. Duh. Right? Next. Okay, we're going to last call. I gotta run through this quick. I think I have 4 things, and I'm sorry I'm gonna have to look down at my phone for this. Number 1, statement that just came out from the Buffalo Sabres. So the backup coaches to the Buffalo Sabres now have to go through the COVID protocols and won't be behind the bench tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. So Kevin Adams, ex-Maple Leaf, now GM of the Sabres. I'd like to note that he did not sign Jeff Skinner to that terrible deal, but this guy's got a tough job. Kevin Adams will be behind the bench for tonight as he gets to look at all the names on the back of the jerseys of the terrible team he has. I find this comedic, and I'd want to tune in just to watch it a little tiny bit. Number 2 on last call, Victor Oladipo. You know, this guy was awesome for the Pacers, and then he was injured, and he's injury prone, and yada yada. He was in the trade for, I don't remember who, but he went to Houston, and now he's a member of the Miami Heat. If Oladipo can stay healthy, then I love this. I absolutely love it, mostly because I like the way Miami plays, and I love how Butler plays. All right, next, breaking news from the NHL. They are cutting down the 14-day quarantine period to 7 days. And I think that they're probably going to have to do multiple testing. This is for any players that are traded from the United States into a Canadian market. This just makes sense because you don't want to see teams not making any moves to help them win a Stanley Cup based on a 14-day quarantine period because of COVID. I think this works. This is a good job by the NHL, and we'll ultimately see how it works moving forward. And then lastly, I want to get out of here on this. It happened a little while ago, but I missed you guys. Juju Smith-Schuster, of course, staying with the Pittsburgh Steelers. At first I thought, great, coming back, 1-year deal. He's going to earn his money, 8 years, or $8 million. He's a good player. I don't think Ben likes throwing to him as much because Ben can share the ball with everybody. But I really like it. I wanted to read out some of the offers that Juju decided not to take. It was $9 million to the Ravens plus incentives, $8 million to go to KC, and a buddy of mine, I thought that was crazy to not do, but I mean, if you're going there on a 1-year deal, you're going to have to produce some stats, and there's too many mouths to feed with Kelsey and Hill in KC. He turned down a deal to Philadelphia, which was a multi-year deal. That one was surprising to me, but if he went to Philly, I would have been really upset with that Battle of Pennsylvania, even though they're not in the same division. Don't do that. So he signs with the Steelers for $8 million, 1 year. Go out there, let's see. It's probably Ben's last year unless something crazy happens, like he turns into a robot, right? So let's see what they can do. You got great weapons in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Juju. I really thought that this guy was a really immature kid with the whole dancing on the logo thing and all that jazz. Maybe stop doing that and just focus on these stats now so you can get your money. Makes sense to me. Thanks for tuning in to GroomersTake. I missed you guys. It was a lot of fun. I will talk to you later, somewhere down the road. See ya.